Hello. Check. 1, 2, 3. Let me check if I'm live. Yes, I am. So let's start. So today's agenda is going to be as follows. Yep. So this is the third part of this stream, or actually it's the third stream for one particular purpose, which was Pizzeria Angular project, which was my capstone project under Accenture stream training. And I have my Viva, I guess, tomorrow, and this was the perfect time to start preparing for it. So I've already started, but this is going to be the third phase of preparation. So in this, I am actually going to write down certain definitions. I'll make you hear those definitions, and thirdly, I'm going to code live and understand rather the code. So let's start. I'll not be speaking for the first few minutes because I'll be writing things down, the definitions, the concepts which we'll be covering, and we'll start. This stream is going to last for another, I guess, an hour. I'll quickly check the overlays. Yep, this is fine, but there is no music. I got secrets that nobody knows. Hello. I'm fucked up, I'm black
got secrets that nobody knows. I'm fucked up, I'm black and blue. I'm built for all the abuse. I got secrets that nobody knows. I'm fucked up, I'm black and blue. I'm built for all the abuse. I got secrets that nobody knows. I'm fucked up, I'm black and blue. I'm built for all the abuse. I got secrets that nobody knows. I'm fucked up, I'm black and blue. I'm built for all the abuse. I got secrets that nobody knows. I'm fucked up, I'm black and blue. I'm built for all the abuse. I got secrets that nobody knows. got secrets that nobody knows. I'm fucked up, I'm black and blue. I'm built for all the abuse. I got secrets that nobody knows. I'm fucked up, I'm black and blue. I'm built for all the abuse. I got secrets that nobody knows. that nobody knows. I'm fucked up, I'm black and blue. I'm built for all the abuse. I got secrets that nobody knows.
Now that I have written and understood a few concepts, uh, including what, including services and majorly the definitions. You know a thing, and then there are definitions about around it. You cannot explain the things in word only just by coding. You need to have theory with them, especially if you are preparing for vivas, right? So let's start. I'm not trying to tease you with my drink, but it is scrumptious. And just a second, I'll take a moment not sharing my screen. Yep. I think it's good to be back on our setup where we have this and for some reason my VS Code is not visible, but it will be in a second. Yes, it is visible now. About my browser, if I do this, my browser is visible, and let me do this for a bigger screen. Now, where were we last time? Where did we left the things? What are we yet to continue? What is to be continued? Uh, so as far as I remember, the only thing that was remaining in this build pizza, add custom pizza is yet to be covered. I suppose in build pizza. And apart from that, we are only left with the cart page. Okay, so we'll keep the things as we kept in the last stream. So be doing I'll be actively recalling the things that I have used, and maybe I'll find a gap myself, or when we see the code we'll find that okay, this was the part that I missed. So what will happen is I will start with the component, let's suppose build pizza, and we'll work and talk around it. And especially for that, I have left this mark. It means we need to start from here. Add custom pizza in the build pizza. So in the build pizza, we were rendering what? We were rendering the ingredients from the interface ingredients data, and we are talking about this page. Oops. Right. Build pizza, and then we'll talk about this cart, shopping cart. Okay. Now in the add custom pizza, what we were doing, once we have to discuss what happens when we click the button. I'll tell you. Okay, so this was our page. Okay, we were successfully fetching all the ingredients. And then there was real-time selection for the checkboxes. I'll show you where. This price calculation over here, when we select these components in real time, is what we covered in the last part. Now what happens when we click this custom pizza? There are 2 to 3 things happening over here. First of all, an item inside the signal cart is added. Second, we have this alert popping up. And third is all the values getting refreshed and these getting unchecked. Okay, so 3 things happening when we click this build pizza page. Inside the .ts file, we are to discuss add button. So definitely we are going to trigger property binding. Oh, sorry. I mean event binding. That on click, what we say, event binding click. On click, what happens? I run this function. What function? I'll write it over here. And let's quickly check. And maybe the name of the function is add custom pizza, right? And then we are sharing the ID. No, we are not sharing anything. I suppose we are just, yes, we are not sending any here because everything is already saved inside the item signal ID selected in the signal that we have created, ID signal. We just have to choose these IDs, and I think the subtotal is also over here. We have to choose these IDs and build this pizza. And what we are doing is add custom pizza. Okay, so let's check if it is written like this. On click, okay, so we don't have to write the brackets, we just have to write the property. Okay, because this is event binding, not property binding. Property binding is happening over here. Here the brackets are used to check this, write this. So we just found one mistake. Right, and on clicking, this function will get triggered. What happens then? Inside the .ts file, when this function gets triggered, we pick up all the IDs and we can send the description. Just a moment, not because of this. What do we do then? Let's look at our app. Okay, so you're not seeing the same screen as I am. Let's look at our app. What comes over here? The price, the quantity. Okay, so the quantity is always going to be one. We can just double it over here, but and this is a bug as well as this is something that can be improved. We are not sending any data over here. Here also we are not sending any metadata. Like we are sending metadata, but nothing like the toppings or the description. But what we can do is we can mention the toppings over here. So this is something we'll keep it for later. And at the end we'll do two things. We'll add the toppings and we'll create a plus 100 rupees for every custom pizza, because, or let's say 50 rupees for the base, because the base price is not included. This is something that I find not so good, because we can simply add one ingredient, that is tomato, and build pizza, and the price in our cart will be showed as 20 rupees, and which is not a good thing. So these are two things that we want to work towards. First is adding the base price for the build pizza, and then second is sending the toppings. So for now, when we are not sending anything, what the only thing that we are creating is we are okay. Let me share that screen. Inside the TS, as we have already injected cart, we are going to use that cart. Uh, Now we are inside this. It's better to write like this. Now custom pizza function is where it is. Add custom function is inside services. So this function is inside services. Sorry, cart service, right? So I suppose what we are going to send in this, we are going to send nothing, but we are going to create a const and then write it pizza, and it is of type cart item, which is our interface, right? And then we'll open the parenthesis or curly bracket, and then write all the properties of cart item. Like what? The bare requirement, the bare minimum. Like, I think the price, the name is always going to be what? Custom pizza. This we are going to keep stagnant. Then we have price, I suppose, which we are ultimately, yes, price is something that needs to be sent. So inside the add custom pizza function that we are going to call, we are sending price. We are going to send price. Price is what we get, right? And then not the quantity. Quantity is always going to be initially 1. price, quantity, and I think we are good. We are not sending anything. We must ideally, but we are not. So we are just sharing that okay, this is a custom pizza. But what, see, there's a problem. The price is only going to be different, but we are not going to know that what else are we, what all is in our custom pizza. Let's suppose I build a paneer pizza and I build this pizza. So it will show what a paneer pizza that will be of 45 rupees. But when I go and build pizza and when I select a black bean pizza topping, and this is also 45, and I build it, then you cannot distinguish which one is paneer and which one was black beans, right? So this is something that we really want to solve. But as we are discussing what we have already created, I'm just going to show. Uh, oops, wrong screen. I'm just going to discuss what we. So in the interface, I guess these are the three things that I am sending. And there are going to be two add pizza functions. First, I am going to call in the TS file, which will ultimately do the three things, right? Add pizza, let's suppose, right? Or build pizza. I'm not sending anything over here. So I am doing, first of all, I am calling this dot card dot add custom pizza. I'm calling this function and I'm sending this dot sum total, and I'll see what all is correct. I'll not leave it like this. And then we are going to do what an alert that okay, like added to cart, and then oops, and then what, clearing all the things or refreshing the state. So I'm going to set items, or rather call this dot id signal dot update I don't think update needs update returns a new array, right? So do update, and then inside update we are going to simply do let's suppose these are items dot what set array is equals to this. I suppose this is what we are going to do. And when this gets called, this gets triggered at custom pizza. We are passing the price. I think this is it. And also we are going to put one check over here. Only if the subtotal is greater than 0, we are going to run all this. Else we are going to say on an alert, definitely, that select at least one TOP topping, right? Two things to check. First of all, the creation of this and this. So let's check the function that gets triggered initially on the click of the button. Here is the button getting clicked and this function is add pizza. Add pizza, we are over here at pizza, and if this current total cost, actually this is what I refer to as subtotal every time. If this is greater than 0, then only this will work, else it will pop an alert. We are right on this. This dot card service add custom pizza, and we are sending an object. Blimey. And we are sending an object. Why? Because we are asking an object. When this is work property, we can do it without sending an object. We can just send this function. And then items, okay, so we are not using select. Item selected. Oh my god, I'm doing the wrong things. No, I am actually doing the correct thing. Item selected. Where is item selected? Item selected is the name of the signal, and you don't do it with via update. You just use this and then set returns like update. You don't have to use update. So update is not required over here. You just use set. Right? Why do you console? Okay, console is for me. Okay, so we are mostly correct. Only not correct on this part. We are sharing a simple variable, but we have to pass an argument. Let's see about the add custom pizza function inside the services. So we are actually asking for an object, and let's see if this part is correct. Okay, so my screen was not visible, so I'm saying that this is, we are asking an object over here, and this is changed. Mostly right. void because we are not returning anything. This is correct. This line is correct. Okay, so id is compulsory in the interface, so this is not an error. We just need to see the interface before writing this portion. So name is custom pizza, price is this, image, oh yes, image. Definitely image. We want to send the image. Okay, so no, we are not sending image, new image every time, but rather we have one image that we are keeping same for every custom pizza. This item signal dot update dot current. Why, what is happening over here? Okay, so yeah, how can we forget this? This is the major thing. This is the major thing. Just a second. So we are creating this, but we are not putting this anywhere. But how can we put this? Let for we have actually opened this. Let's have a look. We do this dot item dot update. Definitely we have the current thing, and we don't use parentheses over here because we are passing the whole thing inside the reference, a new array. So array dot 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 current, and then the new item. Where is the new item coming from? Over here. This is the new item we're passing over, and this is inside the let custom piece added to. Okay, so in fact we are sending the alert from the service, not from the build pizza function. Yep. How do we empty the state? Okay, with this line. So if we want to pass the ingredients, it is so simple. We are just going to use this line. And how are we dealing with okay, so now it makes sense too. Although this will work fine, but the reason is that what's wrong? Let me see. Why do I forget using this every time? This is pizza of type what? This type. I forget this every time. So one thing, so the gap that we identified was in the services we have to use actually what we create. So this line is mandatory. Right. And this is inside that braces, oh, sorry, as an object. Now I think we are good with this. Mm, mm, mm. Right. So only thing remaining is the card. What was inside this component? The cart component. What was inside this? Add custom pizza is done. We use what? Now the cart page, right? Let's. This is page. Let's start things for cart over here. We'll copy the heading because we like this width. Oops. Inside this cart page, we have actually two sections, and I have named them in an HTML right and left and right rather. And one is the list of the items, and another one is, we can keep bullet points for this. I'm in a habit of pressing shift enter. Well, that doesn't work over here. And the another one is, we can call bill. And on bill we have a few things. What few things? Like pizza cost, and we write ingredients cost and then we have total cost, and then we have two buttons which are pay and clear, and pay button also automatically ends up using the clear function. And this is for the template. This was for template, right? And inside this, and let's write clearly template. And this section has the list, which means it has img getting called, and then quantity getting called, name getting called, the price getting called, what else, and then two buttons, inc and please decrease. And this is for quantities, this is for handling quantity. And there are clauses also written over here, like when the quantity is 1 and when you press -1, you get the item removed from the list. And not show a negative quantity. Okay, so how do we achieve that? Okay, so this was the template. This was all about the template. And then inside this section we have another thing that which is different part of this section only, like the total cost. Now we have the .ts file. Looking at section 1, we are fetching data, right? We are fetching data from where? From the service, right? So we inject what? Card service. Let's suppose we fetch it in cart items. Now that we have injected it, we have to show it. So let's suppose there are three things, so we'll show it like image, we'll show like so we do property binding. So inside src we do it like this, and then put the what? Cart item dot. So yes, we have to use what? Directives. You will use this for, and we'll, and the syntax for goes like item of items, or like cart items, right? And then track is what you do. I don't know, but without this you get an error, so I've just made it a mandate to write this. Definitely you can use it for the index, but I don't know what's the compulsion and what are the alternatives. Well, I know it for sure that there are alternatives to this. Now cart items, so no, items dot what? Items dot img. This is what we do for showing the image, and then For the quantity, we do it similarly. Inside the prop normal interpolation, we do like item dot qty, and then uh, this goes the same for name. In the property binding, we show in the interpolation we show item dot name. Quantity is always one though, right? Is there anything else? Name, price is left, so price. Similarly for price, idm dot price, right? So this is for fetching data. I suppose we are good. Let's have a look. Where are we doing the things? Let's cut this, cut this. Let's open the component which matters now, that is shopping cart, and then this. We are doing this item for this items. Yes, we can use this. This is not necessary by the way, so we can remove this also. So is there an error? Nope. So inside this item, definitely inside this item we are using this above this. Why is this? If we are using, oh yes, this is some important thing. So yes, this is hell of important. This is an important thing. So yes, these things are correct, but now let's look at one thing. When I add this and when I add this, you have this card and you have this green dot getting shown and this red dot. But when I add this, there is no PNG for the type. What is this? This is actually coming from the interface signal where we have stored type, right? Inside cart item interface, we are having something as type, and we have used this type for many reasons, like showing if the pizza is veg or non-veg and not inside the custom pizza. Well, this can be an addition. If we use the non-veg ingredients, then it turns red, otherwise green. So yes, this can be an add-on, but we'll talk about this later. So let's, okay, so you are not seeing my screen because I haven't shown you that. So yes, so for there are two types of pizza, this veg and non-veg, but for custom pizza we are not showing anything, right? First of all, there are a few things to note. Inside our models, we have not made it a mandate to store type. So only if type exists, we use this. Otherwise, what happens? If type exists, this returns. If this returns item dot type. So if this returns a quantity, then we are okay. We run this and we do property binding, and then we put src this. Understood? But when we don't have it, we don't keep it. We don't have an else code for it. It only pops up when there is a type. And when we are creating this custom pizza, we are not assigning any type. Now there is check for type, even property binding, done. We are good. We write at the rate if, and then we do if item dot type exists. If it exists, then good. If it doesn't, no worries. We don't put it. And then we have many things inside the for fetching data, but rather we have more. So we have only this much for fetching data. Otherwise, we have things to show data, not fetch. Actually, we are actually fetching, but we have to write functions for those. So inside this card, we'll actually look for our uh, we'll take help from our UI, and this is the list. We are showing these things. Yes, 2 times. Oh, okay. Now you have to show the computed cost, right? This is where you show the computed cost. So there are these buttons, the quantity, and then okay, so this is a tricky part. You have to increase not the price over here, but here. Okay, so we want to ideally open. What else is there to show? I'll be quick now. Now that we have already spent 20 to 4 minutes. So there are these two buttons, right? And we are inside what fetching data. So we have actually not used any of it inside what rather than this. So we'll do this. This is in the template file. Now we have to show what? Now we have to show uh, uh, buttons in everything. Buttons, right? Buttons working. INC DEC, and then buttons working affect quantity. So quantity is going to be shown live, and then uh, subtotal. Subtotal is what actually pizza into. So nope, we are not doing this. We're just using the quantity, and we are going to show the subtotal. So subtotal may be a only just a component. Sorry, an element. Subtotal. We are not using any fuck man. We are using a function subtotal, and this is inside cart. Oh yes, because we are getting quantity and that from the cart. So how will the subtotal function work? So for the subtotal function, What are we doing? Nothing. We are just fetching the quantity and then multiplying the quantity with the price. And we are using the subtotal over here for that item. So every item has subtotal. How is this function working? And why can't we do it live when we are actually fetching things? Okay, so subtotal is also actually a signal because this needs to be updated live. Is this a signal? Oh, we'll use computed in subtotal, right? Because we are calculating something. Whenever there is calculation happening and when you have to show the result, there is subtotal. Oh yes, so I'm definite on we are using subtotal, and this is also computed signal. See, this is going to be, yes, I knew it. We are going to use computed over here. I'm not going to see the logic, I'm just telling you. And back here, and this is not what we are talking about. We are talking about, okay, this got me confused. We are actually talking about, I'm talking about this, not this. So we just saw the code for this where we are using computed. I'm telling about here for this. How is this working? So before lurking here, what's the meaning of lurking? Lurking. Yep, kind of correct usage. So let's just not lurk around working this, but this. So two buttons and the function is where. So we are actually changing the data. So the trigger must be inside the component TS, but the actual code must be inside cart. Done. The actual code must be inside cart. So there are these functions inc, quantity, and dec, qty. And how do we think around this? When you have something that you can't change, which is the quantity, you can just change it with the click of buttons. So it must be disabled. So front end must be disabled for this, right? And increasing the quantity, how do we increase it? We are not to pass anything, we just want to say that okay, we want to increase the quantity. So we are not going to have local functions, we are just going to have functions inside where, inside the service. This is our service. Right, this is a function. So what is inside this function? How are we going to pick which items quantity are we going to increase? We are going to use id. So yes, we will need to have local components increase function. So when you get the id of the cart element, you you go to that cart element, we're going to use map or update. We can use filter returns what only one, so no, not only one. So map can be of use. So map runs on what? Map dot. Map needs items. Inside map, what we are doing, inside map we are saying if um, item dot id equals to what? Id, then item dot qty is equals to qty, item dot qty is equals to I don't know qty is equal to item dot qty plus 1 definitely. Else item is same time. Let's check, and this is going to be the code for increase, not for decrease. Almost same for decrease, but there needs to be a check that for no minus quantity, and if there is a 0 then it gets removed from the list. So let's check for the increase quantity. We have to send id, so we are going to have two functions. So let's come over here and write function inc qty. Then we are doing what? Increase quantity, or rather we'll write it over here, increase quantity. This dot cart dot id is number, most definitely, and yep, this is what we are going to do, and this is what is we are getting, and we okay, keep it number, yeah. Let's check for this. So we are sending the id over here, we are correct. And we are okay, so this is string, no worries. And then we pass the id, then we go inside services, increase quantity, this is a string, no worries, and we are using update. My god, why update? Why can't we simply use map? Why can't we simply use map, man? Let me ask this. I don't think we are compelled to use what? Okay, so the update is we are wrong over here. What we actually need is update, because without update it won't work. The value of map will be just thrown away. We need to utilize this with map. Rather, we can const update update is what? An array. This is what? An array. And then what we are going to do, we are going to store this inside. We are going to then use this dot signal item dot update, then inside update current mapper is returning the whole new thing or just that one thing? How do we use that, man? I mean, throw off the current one. I need to look at the code. There's a lot happening inside. So item signals dot update. We pick up every item, okay, the entire array, and then inside that entire array we use map, and that map does what? Picks up each element and uses this and does what? Retains the entire item, just that we update the quantity is equals to. This is very important. This is very important. We have to retain. We don't have to just update. We have to retain the entire item. Just add what? Quantity is equals to item quantity property item, this item dot quantity plus 1. What happens for this? The item signal or update, then we are doing what? This dot item signal update, then item manufacturing, and whatever you get. If in filter, and what filter? This is some advanced logic. I get it, but I really need to. I would have written this differently. Okay, so I'll cover the remaining things in the next stream. I am tired, and I think that I'll be able to produce better productivity when I am well rested. Okay, so for this increase quantity, then we are doing this. I understood this logic. We have to retain the item and increase the item quantity, and or else return the item. For decrease quantity, this dot item signal dot update, when we are entering, then we have the whole array, and then inside the array we are mapping every element and every item, and every item we are picking up, and then we are saying that okay, item dot cart id, if it is same as this given id, then we retain the whole item, yeah, and we update the quantity, which is -1 now, or return the array if the id is not same. Then when the item is when this is set, right? When does this work? When this is set, before returning it to items dot signal, when this is set, we have the array. We are saying that okay, only if the item quantity is greater than 0 we are going to include it inside the array, else it is not going to be there. So this is what we are doing. Understood. Now this filter is also returning the complete array, but just removing the ones which have negative quantity. Very easy. I think we are good for now. In the next, now that we have understood the workings of the buttons, I'll quickly see how I have managed it in the front end. Here is the input. Set quantity, reduce, right, and then click and decrease item, and include value size is 1, and then text, and then value in quantity. How are we not increase? This is the front end, no? let's look for its corresponding CSS. So can we change the quantity in the front end? Let's see. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. Can I do it disabled? Okay, so there are two ways to tackle that. Let's see. I am going over here and write read only. Let's see what changes. Oops, what changes in the front end. Yeah, now I am not able to change. What happens when I write oh, disabled though? Oh, these have got dim. These have got dim as well. And I don't want it to be dim, so let's better have this. These are bright as new. Right, so I think we are good. We'll continue in the next one. Thank you for joining.